Morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. It's good to be with you today. Here we are in the middle of the week and having a good time, I hope. Enjoying life and enjoying what God's doing in your midst. And I'd like to share a verse with you this morning to continue to encourage you. Coming from Hebrews chapter 10 and verses 23 and 24. Here's what it says. Let us, that's you and me, hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let us hold tightly without wavering. You know what that means? Stick to it. Grab a hold and hang on. Whether the times are good or the times are bad, you hang on because you know this is something worth hanging on to. It's kind of like now. This virus is going to end. That's worth hanging on to. Not maybe as quickly as some of us would like, and certainly with not without tragedy for a whole bunch of folks. But it is going to end. And life will get back to, some people say normal. It'll get back to more regular life. I don't know what normal is. And after having gone through this, nobody really does. But life, as we have known it this last year plus, will change and it will be over. We can hang on to that without wavering, even though it's getting really frustrating. But it says, hang on tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm that God can be trusted to keep his promise. Hey, you may not be totally 100% of the time trustworthy, and I might not be. That doesn't mean that we're dishonest folks. It's just that maybe we forget. If I promise to pick up something at the store for my wife and I forget about it, I messed up. And when I get home, she says, "Where's the whatever?" And I forgot. Well, okay, there are lots of little things like that. We make a lot of promises in our lives. Maybe we shouldn't, but we do. And we'll do our best, most of us anyway, to keep those promises. But God always keeps his promises. There's no ifs, ands, or what's about it. There's no forgetting. There's no hope he doesn't get too busy with something else. God's promises are totally 100% secure. And because of that, we can stand on the firm foundation of our relationship with him. I don't know about you. I never question my relationship with God. I don't. I never have since I first met him. Yeah, it doesn't mean that I always thought he was real close. There were times when I wondered, what in the world are you doing, God? And I would always fall back on, I don't know. But I know that you know, so give me the confidence to trust you because you know what you're doing. But here it says, hang on to the promise. Now, because of that, it goes on to the next verse. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. In other words, we're supposed to be coaches to our fellow members in society. Now, if you're a parent, you coach your kids to do the right thing, to honor their commitments, to grow up, and as they get to be adult children, you become their shoulder to talk on and cry on and help them make better decisions. I know when my son was starting to run track and field, back when he was, I guess, an eighth grader. My job was to coach him not to quit. My job, excuse me, my job was to make sure he kept trying. And if he lost a race, which he did, he was in the eighth grade. He was running against seniors. And when he lost a race, my job was to let him know that wasn't the end of the story, that there were good days yet to come, and that one day would come and he would beat that person. Now, I'd like to tell you that my son always believed that, but I don't know that. I don't know if he did. You'll have to ask him sometime. What I do know is it was my job to encourage him. And I think I succeeded. I mean, he's got an Olympic gold medal. That's pretty good. But the outcome was out of my hands. That wasn't my task. My task was to encourage him to keep trying and keep working. Now he's encouraging kids to get in shape, among other things, so they will be healthier and live better lives. He can't make them do that, but he sure can encourage them to do that. And it's kind of fun to watch that happen. Because God's promises are true, and we know that his promise to love us, to care for us, to forgive us, to walk with us, to strengthen us, to heal us, to bring joy to us, all of those things are true. We can encourage others to live that way. And even those of us who've been doing it a long time need encouragement. I try hard. I like to tell you I succeed 100%, but I don't, and nobody does. But I try to encourage those around me. Tell them what a good job they're doing. Okay, maybe they're not doing a perfect job, but that's okay. I'm not perfect. And it doesn't matter if you're perfect. The matter is keep trying. As I told my son, what's important is you keep trying to be better. And you and I can keep trying to get better, but we also have the responsibility to help others to do better. Now, if we don't ever talk to folks, if we don't ever take the time to be around other folk, we can't encourage anybody anything. And especially those that we only seldom meet and we can tell are very discouraged in life. It says here to think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. I have a suggestion. Why don't you make that your task, your job for the next week? And at the end of the week, take a look and see how well you did. You know what? You might just be really surprised how much of a difference you made in other people's lives. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. By golly, I hope God's goodness and grace overflows in all that you do. I appreciate you listening. If you have a prayer concern or a need, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. So until later, God bless you, and I'll talk to you again.